Good evening and welcome to Her Majesty blog, where we bring together the world of pageants with the sole aim of revolutionizing beauty standards and creating social development through women empowerment. My name is Nonele and I am your host this evening. Now, on this particular series called It Is Within Her, we chat up to all the amazing women in the forefront of pageants, be it the finalists, the queens, the founders, and the organizers, you name them, and they let us in on their journey of becoming pioneering and purposeful women within the pageantry space. Now, on this particular episode, we are joined by Miss Dreamchaser 2025, Jerry Makananisa, and she will be joining us shortly. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. We are, of course, Her Majesty organization everywhere, and she is here.
Hello.
How are you, Queen?
I am all right. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Welcome, welcome.
Mm.
Great. Now we're gonna start by shaking off those nerves, We're just gonna play a little game, like a small icebreaker. Are
Hello.
you ready? All right. And the first question is, do you prefer walking or talking? Can you hear me? Jerry? Okay, she is experiencing connectivity problems. Let's be with her for a moment. Yes, Jerry, did you get that?
No, you went silent for about like 10 seconds there.
Yeah, I saw you were also buffering. All right, so as I was saying, we're gonna play a quick icebreaker, okay? Just to
Oh,
shake off the nerves, eh?
all right.
Yes. So the first question is, do you prefer walking or talking?
I prefer talking. I'm one of those people. I talk a lot. I talk too much, maybe.
Of course, I mean you're here.
Yeah, you know, someone has to do it.
So would you say that you prefer a crown or a sash?
Ooh, I mean, I love me a good sash, but it's the crown that gets everyone's eye. Everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, is it real?" I'm like, "Yes, it's real hard work."
Nice. So evening wear or swimwear?
Ooh, evening wear. Any day.
Nice. Those nice couture dresses,
Oh,
looking
yes.
all elegant.
Mm.
Nice. All right, so we'll get into it now. So, if I were to stumble upon people that really know you, how do you think they would describe you?
I think the most average word that you'd get from everyone is crazy. I am weird. I'm a weirdo. And it's only the people close to me that know just how much of a weirdo I am. But yeah, that's the one.
Why do you think that you're a weirdo?
Yes.
All right. Now I want you to take me through to your upbringing. Where did you grow up? How was it? How did it shape the woman that you are today?
Well, I was one of those lucky kids that was raised in a village. So basically, you know how they say it takes a village? It literally does. So my
Yeah.
childhood was growing up, running through the fields, making mud pies, sometimes eating them. I remember there was a part in my childhood where I was selling these mud pies, and luckily the community, they did buy one or two with fake money, always also known as leaves. So yeah, I had a very nice upbringing. I lived in it's a small, tight-knit village, which in the area that we live in is called Western, but it's not really west of anything. So yeah, I grew up in Lutrichard, which is a small town at the base of the big, beautiful Sippansberg mountain, and it is as quaint towns get. Our CBD is one street long.
My
So, yeah, literally, you know everyone, you know what that house is doing on the corner, you know who's doing what, yeah, we know everything. So, yeah, it was very nice. I loved it. I wish I could go back.
God. That's nice, man.
Yeah.
Now, what inspired you to enter pageantry? Like, what was your first pageant?
Oh, remember it was 3 o'clock in the morning. I was scrolling through DSTV, just checking what's happening, and I stumbled upon this little TV show. It was like Miss Universe 2018. I'm like, okay, let me watch it. I'm bored. And let's just say Tamron Green changed my life. It was just the way that she represented South Africa, the way that she was talking about actual like issues that she's facing and everything, because she was most a TB survivor. So for me, that was the first time I ever saw pageantry as more than just pretty dresses. That was when I was like, okay, you can actually talk about the things that are affecting you and also affect change.
You,
So I'm like, you know what? Let me get into it. I was in my first year. I did this pageant called International Princess Pageant, and I knew nothing. I knew absolutely nothing. I watched way too many videos. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go hire a dress. My sister's gonna do my makeup. It's gonna be awesome. And then I ended up winning like top five and the opportunity to represent South Africa in the US. And unfortunately, I didn't have the funds at the time, but it was like, wow, this stage is nice. I'm gonna keep doing it, and yeah, we're gonna see where it takes me.
wow, that's really nice. Eh? I think everyone has a story about someone really shifting their mindsets regarding pageantry, because we grew up
Mm,
knowing it's a beauty contest. It's all about looks, pretty dresses, a nice tiara, and we didn't understand the core of using a platform for a certain purpose.
mm.
And that's good. Now, would you say that Tamarind Green is your favorite Miss Essay?
I didn't say that, but she is definitely up there. She's in my top three. I have
Mm-hmm.
to say
Who's number one?
I'm a Zozibini girl. I'm sorry, I can't. Like,
Okay, okay, but I'm hoping Tamarind is not number three.
oh no, she's close second, like very, very close. Like I think it's like a 2 point
Yeah,
difference between the two. But I mean, Zozi was insane.
yeah,
What do you mean
yeah.
take space? Like we needed to hear that. And the thing is, like, in the pageants that I have been able to go to with
Mhm.
Miss there, I've been hearing a lot of these younger girls saying they want to take up space, which tells you that they were listening. It's
Yeah.
happening. We're seeing it happen. The girls are happening.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really powerful. I mean, yeah, she really took the world off by storm, and we never saw her coming, and she made an everlasting impact. Her legacy speaks for itself.
Literally, literally.
So I want to now dive into your current title, right? Congratulations on being crowned Miss Dreamchaser. I am getting that Dreamchaser vibe. You are that gal. You know,
Yes, speak it onto existence.
love that. Now, how has the journey been? Like, how did your life change?
I mean, I remember the first ever thing that I did with the title is directly after the pageant, I went to KFC and I got out, and there was this little girl, I think she was like 5'6", and she looked at me like I was a princess, like a Disney princess come to life. And I was like, wow, okay, we haven't even started, but I'm already getting that feeling. So it's like, it's things like that. I love being able to make someone's eyes sparkle, especially the kids. I remember I took the title back home and back home in Utrecht. So I showed my sister and I got out of the car and she was like, oh my gosh, my sister's a queen. And I'm like, yes, yes, I am. So no, this title, it's been awesome so far. It really has. Everyone at work is like, congratulations, I'm now being called the queen of the office. And yeah.
Oh man, that's really nice. Now you spoke about your sister, I'm always interested in your family dynamics regarding pageantry. Now, is your family supportive of your pageantry activities, or what's the story
Luckily, I am blessed and highly favored. I have quite literally the best family out there. Okay. My mom is the one that's always like, oh, like she's calling and she's video calling and she's like, how did it go? How did it go? What's happening? What's happening? So when I won the title, she was in Lutergaard. And the second that I got off stage, I get a call from her. She's like, how did it go? How did it go? Which was about 10 minutes after the previous call that she called me just to ask how is it going. So I'm like, no, everything is fine. I didn't want to tell her. I wanted to surprise her. And so I go home. I didn't tell her anything. I just told her, oh, things happened anyway. So I drive home, literally in the middle of the night. I drive home and I go to my mom and I'm like, surprise! And she started crying. And then she was like, give me the pictures, give me the videos. And then she started sending them to all of her friends. I think that's something that the older generation do a lot. Like they send each other things.
they?
So my mom is sitting there broadcasting news to all of her friends, every single, not just her friends but her colleagues, people that she works with. She was just telling everyone. And yeah, no, they're ready to vote, they're ready to buy tickets. If they can't buy them, they're ready to share that someone else can buy. And it's just, I have an awesome family. It's a big one, but it's an awesome one.
That's really nice. Hey, it's really heartwarming when people have a solid support structure.
Mm,
It is literally the wind beneath your wings. I mean,
literally,
you don't
like you
have,
walk different when you have people behind you.
Mhm. Yes, it really pushes you to go even further.
Yeah.
So you are an advocate for mental health, right?
Yeah.
Now, also, you are a survivor of mental health issues, right?
Yeah.
I want you to really paint me a picture of how you overcame that, and also how did you go up, like how did you find the bravery to really tackle that issue like hands on and be like, okay, I survived this, now this is what I'm gonna fight for, this is the cause that I'm going for. How did you find the strength to do that?
I think the biggest thing was I I've had a tough past 12 years. So it all started when I was 11 years old. And at that time, I remember I kind of just disappeared from, life. Like I was going through the motions. And at 11 years old, that's sad. So I just realized, I'm like, no, I can't have gone through all of that for nothing. Like if I felt that way at 11, there's someone else who's feeling that way at 11, at 9, at 7. So they just, girl, baby boy, it is tough out there. It is tough. So the only way for you to get through it is to be even tougher. I know what I went through, and it wasn't fun and it wasn't easy, and I almost gave up so many times. But, at the end of the day, life keeps you going, whether you want to be in it or not. So I made the decision. I'm like, nah, nah, mm-mm. There are others out there, regardless of age, that are struggling with the same things I'm struggling with. And I grew up learning that everyone you meet has something to teach you. So I'm starting to see it as, okay, what can I teach the next person?
Mm-hmm.
So I have a lot of children, a lot of children. And that's basically people that I adopt, regardless of age. I have a 32-year-old child, a 6-year-old. So, regardless of how old you are, what path you have been on in life, if you need a big sister, I'm here. I am a big sister to two, and I'm also a little sister to two. So I know kind of what it feels like to want help, but not be able to ask for help. So I just feel like, if more people can see that, okay, as me as a title holder, me as a pageant girl, I go through my own stuff, okay? Because we all go through our own stuff. No person is the same because no experiences are the same. So I'm here kind of showing people that, yeah, as weird as you are, as crazy as you might be, you can still do what you need to do. Because at the end of the day, you do you, boo. You know? So I just want people to realize it's not that deep. Mental health is a very, very deep thing. But if you let it consume you, it will kill you. It will take you out immediately. So you need to get to that point where you're like, my life is a mess right now. Everything I know is falling apart around me. Okay, we just keep going. You take that next step. That's all you need to do. If you look down, take one step, and you take another step, in 10 minutes, where will you have gotten by then? So it's a lot of it's a mindset shift that people need to start realizing. Okay. As much as we all advocate for mental health, we advocate I find it that some people advocate for a mental health that's like a pretty picture, oh, depression is it's a
Mm-hmm.
sad thing and everything. And it's like, yeah, mental health is sad, but it's also sometimes disgusting. It's sometimes heartbreaking. It is debilitating. So as much as we say, oh, just be a little bit easier on him, he's had a tough week, to maybe don't say that about somebody that you can see is having a tough week. So, yeah, it's time for people to wake up. Mental health is not fun, it's not cute, it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be messy. If it wasn't messy, they wouldn't call it a disorder. That's
Yeah.
that's what it all is. It's everybody has some sort of disorder. So to get to a point where you kind of push yourself to take that next step, take that next step, take that next step, I find something that helps me a lot because I'm a big thinker. I think in an auditorium. Some people think in a classroom. They
Yeah.
think I think long term. So for people to kind of zero down and just
Yeah.
go to the next day. That's all you need to do. Wait for tomorrow. And the great thing is, tomorrow never comes. So you're just going and going and going and going. So I'm not necessarily someone that lives for the past or for the future or for the present. I am somebody that lives in the present with the lessons of the past, with the hope of the future. Yeah.
Sure, that's really powerful, hey. And we often like underestimate the the real consequences of mental health, especially when it comes to children.
Yeah.
People will be like, but what's messing you up is a 7-year-old, The mere fact that you have a brain and it is functional on its own, you
Mm.
are bound to have such issues regardless of your age, your geographic location, your demographics, or whatever. Sure, you are raising a very, very important conversation there. And I think a lot of people tend to ignore that part, especially when it comes to kids.
Because it's convenient, and also we don't have an answer for it.
Yes.
We don't have to say this is why it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So people don't really take it as something that's happening.
Yeah. I think that's the most difficult part of also like supporting somebody that's struggling with mental health issues. You don't know what's triggering them. You don't know how to actually make them feel better.
Yeah.
You're not guaranteed that your your sympathy or your compassion is going to work or whatever. You can try different things and it's not always guaranteed to work. It might make you feel better today, but tomorrow it's not going to work.
Yeah.
The most challenging part of it. Sure, girl, I am very sorry you had to go through a lot of ups and downs regarding mental health. I
Mm,
don't think there's anyone who would like to be in that situation or anybody that really should be playing about such a thing. It's
yeah.
very difficult, it's very heavy because it doesn't just affect you as an individual, but everybody else around you. Yeah.
Truly.
So now, how do you navigate the advocacy? Like, what is it that you actually do to help the people besides saying that, you know what, I'm here, I adopt people? Are there any other steps that you have taken to like really utilize your platform in that sense?
Yeah. So this was something that happened about a month ago, before I was Miss Dreamchaser. My little sister was going through a bit of a bullying situation, and she's in high school now. So I figured sometimes kids nowadays, they're very mean. They're very mean, and they don't understand that they're being very mean. So I went to my sister's high school and I went to her class, and I sat down and I just had a frank conversation with the kids. Luckily, I'm from that school, so the teachers were like, "Oh yeah, you can just talk to them quickly." And I just, I tried to paint a picture. It's all about perspective. If you give someone that perspective, then they have a little bit more insight as to how they handle things now. So
Mm-hmm.
it's either, if I'm not actively going out and talking to the young people, I'm still like on like social media and stuff. I've started doing this thing where in my circle, in my own circle, as people that I went to high school with, primary school with, someone I went to church with, I always try to, just say a bit of a bit of advice. So I always just tell them, remember, you're going through something, but someone else is going through a different thing. So
Yeah.
treat people with, let's just treat each other with kindness. That's literally all we need to do. And once we're doing that, we are putting ourselves in a much better space than we were. So I don't know. I don't know if it's me just being me, but I do find myself in situations where I would need to be like, hey, maybe don't say that, or, oh, no, it's okay. So if it's not in my workplace, because I have a very stressful workplace, if it's not in my workplace, it is in spa, it is in dischem, it is out and about. I always try to make people's day by giving people compliments, just small ones. I love your hair. Oh my gosh, I love your dress. Just something to make someone smile. Because I feel like if I make one person smile a day, I I feel like I'm doing a little bit of what I'm supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm. Love that, man. Hey, yeah, it's really a cruel world out there, and we only realize it when it's really up to the very, very last draw of the situation. For example, you mentioned bullying, a lot of people tend to overlook the issue of bullying and how it can really affect an individual because it can last like a lifetime. You may be bullied in primary school, but it still affects you as an adult.
Yeah.
And it gets to a point where some people even resort to really unaliving themselves. Some
Mm.
people's self-esteems are crushed forever.
Yeah.
They can't repair the emotional damage that comes with it. Um, Thank you for really like fighting for that cause. It's really imperative that people understand that kindness really goes a long way. It doesn't cost a thing,
Yeah.
you know. I don't think there's anyone who wants to live with the conscience of knowing that they drove someone to depression or drove someone to really committing suicide. Thank you so much for that. And speaking about your workplace, you mentioned that you are a candidate property practitioner, and you are saying that it's quite stressful. Can you just take us through that? What is it about? What do you actually do? Like, what does your day look like in that space?
Oh my word. Well, I can't say that a day. Oops, sorry, I'm just repositioning myself here quickly. A day goes in like a linear manner, you know.
No,
I
you can say that. So, as a candidate property practitioner,
Yeah,
this is
it's just
what.
a fancy it's
Yeah.
just a fancy way of saying real estate agent.
In the morning, this is what I do in the afternoon. No, just an overview of what it is that you get up to.
Okay, so I wake up, I cry, and it is like this job is so stressful. And we joke at the office that our office hours are not from 7 to 4. Our office hours are from whenever there's a problem to whenever there's a problem.
My God.
So I'm more a rental agent than a sales agent. So I'm the one who's getting the calls at 3 o'clock saying my geyser burst, or my dog ran away, or the neighbor is making noise and stuff like that. So my day usually starts, just at the office. If I have a listing where I would go, take pictures of a house to put it online and stuff, then I'll usually do a listing. I'll do some viewings, which is always fun because then it's like that's what you see in social media. That's what you see on TV, the viewing part. It's the everything else part that's a headache. And yeah, so, I rent out houses. Sometimes I sell them, but yeah, I absolutely love my job. I love it. It makes me stressed. It gives me high blood pressure, but I don't think I would change it, hey? I don't really want to change it. I'm going to be 48. I'm going to be 68, 78. We have a 77-year-old working with us because she
What?
just doesn't want to leave. So that's definitely something that I want to do as well, because it's such a fun career. There is no day that is the same. You go to work thinking you have two things to do, and you're still at the office at 7 o'clock, and you can't leave because it's just, it's going, it's going, it's going. So yeah.
But it sounds really interesting, hey?
It
So you go through negotiations and you find those difficult clients and they'll be like, no, but I saw something similar in this other area and it was so much cheaper.
Yes, that's the worst thing when like clients come from other provinces and they come to Polokwane. They
Mhm.
want the same house that they can get in Pretoria for 800,000. They want it for 800,000 here. And I tell them, that's not how it works. Welcome to Polokwane. Rent is expensive. Houses are expensive. Yeah, and it's like you get them Not as often anymore, but you would get those people that want like a four-bedroom
Yeah,
house for
yeah.
8,000 Rand.
My God.
And they
Sure.
want it modern, and it has to be in a estate. It has to have backup water, solar. And you just start watching these people and you're like, wow, okay, yeah. And what else? What else do you want? Yeah.
Sure. My God.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what would you say is your favorite part about it?
Ooh, ooh. I would say my favorite part about it is after finding, you know, houses for these people. We let's say we do 6 viewings and they hate every single one of those viewings
Oh my.
and we can't find the house for them. It's the moment where I find a house for them and I don't know how it happens. It's either it lands on my lap. I believe it's God, maybe, but I always find them that property. So when we find the property and they're walking through and they just look at me and say, yeah, no, that's it, we're done. This is the one. That's the best feeling for me. It really is. As much as it is about the money, which, it's good money, but it's more about finding that place for them. It's so nice.
Yeah. Just really satisfying their wishes in everything. I can imagine it.
Yes,
The
especially
rainbow,
when it's something like
yeah,
that they couldn't find. It's
like the
very.
rainbow after all the struggles, the rains of finding different houses that they don't
Mm,
like, finally find the one.
literally.
Love that. Now we are definitely out of time,
Oh,
but I would like to ask you, last but not least, what
hmm.
does beauty mean to you?
Oh, you know how they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder?
Hmm.
I agree, but I would say beauty is in the little actions that make someone else's day. Like there's nothing more beautiful than seeing someone actually doing something for someone else. It's really nice to have that ability to kind of just say, yeah, I don't have much, but I can do this. I can do
Yeah.
that. Literally. It's the little things that mean beauty to me. You know, I'm that person. I see beauty in a lot of things. I see
Hmm.
beauty in broken down cars. I see beauty in broken down houses. It all depends on beauty for me is that warm feeling.
Yeah.
It's that warm feeling.
Oh man, very well said. Hey, that's really profound. I enjoyed our chat. Very
Mhm.
insightful, very informative,
Yeah.
very well said. So, um, thank you so much for making time to join us this evening. Out
Oh
of your busy
no.
schedule.
No, thank you for having me, literally.
Absolutely.
Any chance I get to talk, I'll do it.
Of course. Now, in closing, what would you like to say to our viewers out there? What message? It could be like your mantra, word of the day, anything that comes to your mind.
I, I would say that give effort to the things that will pay you. And I don't mean pay you financially. I mean pay you as in you're gonna go home and you're gonna feel like, yeah, I had a good day today. I did what I wanted to do. I did what I needed to do. It's literally just that. If you're gonna get paid, might as well make it something that you like, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And at the end of the day,
Yeah.
don't pay the things that don't pay you. Don't pay gossip, don't pay bullying, don't pay depression. Just don't pay. Okay? Because what's the worst that's gonna happen? No one's gonna call you saying, "Hey, you haven't paid your guilty fee for the month." No. So do the things that pay you emotionally.
Yes, things that will leave you feeling good about yourself also.
Yes, yes, like spiritual fillers.
Sure. Very well said. You are such a wise queen.
Oh,
Love that.
stop it. Keep going.
Once again, thank you very much,
Oh, no. Thank you so
Queen.
much for having me.
I wish you all the best with your future endeavors.
Thank you.
You are a smart queen. You're very stead. You have a good head above your shoulders, and I'm sure you will make it big in
Yeah,
life.
I got that from
Generally,
my mama.
shout out to your mama.
Yeah.
Until next time, Queen.
All
Have a
right.
good
Okay.
evening further. Thank you so much. Bye
Bye.
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 Now, that was, of course, Miss Dreamchaser South Africa 2025, Jerry Makananisa. Now, I think we all understand why she is Miss Dreamchaser, because girl is the literal personification of a dream chaser. Now, please do not forget that we have another exciting episode tomorrow at 7 p.m. with a Black Barbie Ambassador 2025 finalist, Precious Muho. Sorry, Precious, I forgot your surname. But yes, please do stay tuned. Follow us on every platforms for further updates. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys got us. Um, I'm just trying to go through your comments. Thank you guys so much for the comments. Um, Miss Dream Chaser says, Woman Commando. And please bring us all the love. Paladi says, You go, big sister. And all about Simone Akani says, That's my queen. Thank you guys so much for all the comments, for all the love from my team and myself. Have a stunning evening further. Thank you so much. Now, also don't forget, if you would like to advertise with us, please reach out to us via email. We are majestyorganization@gmail.com. It's the end of episode 146. Good night.